It's a strange sadness that you cannot explain. I have not found an outlet or a way to process this.
This week, I'm on a mission to use tech to rewire depression.
What in the world?
I'm Preston Lim, and I'm a computer scientist. I build programs that help government agencies run like well-oiled machines. But what you don't know is that I also spent years studying how code could reveal pivotal patterns hidden in mountains of medical data. Tell me, record a video.
Okay.
4 trillion is spent worldwide on technology every year to supercharge our lives. And in this series, I find out if the machines and programs that have changed my life are also improving the lives of the less able.
I can feel the grip, yeah.
I'll be working with engineers, scientists, and companies.
You just need to tap on this.
They actually need trackers to be able to locate them.
Do you need to go to the toilet, love?
We can create some kind of scenes to encourage him to go to sleep on time.
To find out if more can be done.
I'm working in PR right now. It's a pretty intense environment. I think to survive it, I think you have to be resilient in a sense. I think the two key messages that trying to show.
At just 28, Charles is handling some of the most challenging accounts in his company.
But the reality is that there's always some mess up that can just frustrate you, throw you off. It's a hectic industry. People work after hours more often than not. I think you get used to the idea of rejection. There's no escape from it. All these anxieties or just like running thoughts. I mean, they can't escape my head, that's for sure. So in the past year, I think broke down twice. It's like this strange sadness that you cannot explain, You just feel really tired, defeated. And then it starts with random tears. You start crying at the most random moments of the day. And you start to wonder whether you're sick.
Charles has been having these incredible bouts of sadness for almost a year now. I want to know if what he's feeling is normal. So I've arranged for Charles to visit Dr. Wang, a psychiatrist and counselor.
Because I do not know what to expect. Yeah, I'm equally curious, also a bit scared to find out about my mental health.
How can I help you? Can you tell me a little bit more about what's been troubling you?
I've been feeling good. It's like ebb and flow for past couple of years.
See, so it goes up and down.
Up and down. It's like a malaise, a general malaise in life.
I see.
After 20 minutes, Charles is given his diagnosis.
Based on what you've told me today, in medical terms, we call this major depression or major depressive disorder. And although I'm saying that now, I'm going to put a little caveat on it, a little asterisk there to say that this is just based on one short interview we've had in the last 30 or so minutes. Depression is a medical illness. In other words, it's caused by a chemical change in a person's brain. It happens to people in their 20s and 30s, most commonly, but depression is a very treatable illness. It doesn't mean that you'll be like this forever and ever.
Charles's condition isn't as uncommon as we might think. 1 in 7 Singaporeans have experienced at least one mental disorder in their lifetime. That's according to the 2016 Singapore Mental Health Study. In 2010, the figure was 1 in 8. So the numbers have been going up. And out of all the mental disorders, depression is the most common. I've used technology to assist the physically challenged.
I can feel the grip. Yeah.
There's so many people appreciating your artwork. But the thing is, the difficulties that they faced were visible. So how can you use technology to address a disorder that's not seen but felt?
I
Come on in. I guess I would have to begin by meeting the person who's feeling it all.
So, what has your biggest fear been ever since being diagnosed?
fear that I'll be misunderstood. The fear of like being potentially typecast as like, oh, are you mentally sick or something? People have this thinking that like depression equals sadness. Yes, externally you are sad, but inside your headspace is totally different. You know, there's a bit of anxiety, there's fear, there's a bit of anger and frustration. The world feels kind of grey. It's like a very dark and cloudy day.
Fear, anxiety, sadness, and frustration. I feel these emotions occasionally, but it's hard for me to understand what it's like to grapple with them constantly. So today, I'm visiting Touch Community Services. I've heard that they help teens relate to mental disorders using virtual reality.
Okay, so this VR set, it's putting you in the shoes of someone who has exhibits signs of depression. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Why do you always look so stressed? Come on, eating will cheer you up.
Everything's going to be okay. Hey, don't so emo leh. Snap out of it.
Stop it already. How come you guys don't get it? I also don't want to feel this way. I can't help it.
They've also developed a second VR simulation on anxiety, a condition they often see in youth diagnosed with depression. Feelings of anger,
I hate you, I hate everyone, I hate this life.
hopelessness,
What is wrong with this, people? What did I do to deserve this?
and anxiety are some common symptoms of depression.
It's really immersive and it brings out anxiety in me as well. I think mostly because of the beats in the soundtrack and kind of the dim lighting at times and then red lighting, and it really gives you a kind of claustrophobic feeling.
I'm not feeling well, Mom. Just not well.
If you realize our voiceover has a lot of those breathing sounds, heart pumping sounds, and the tone of her voice.
Why am I the only one suffering all this?
The person who was doing the voiceover was coached to portray all these kind of sounds to make it more realistic for the listener.
So why did you and your team decide to create this VR experience?
Another way would be for us to have people who have lived-in experience to talk about their experience. But again, it becomes very abstract for the use.
Right.
But VR allows you to see it, allows you to step in the shoes of someone with that condition. Scientifically, it has been proven that VR retains knowledge by 75%, which is way higher than classroom setting.
Aside from raising awareness, research suggests that VR could be used to treat some mental disorders. But VR therapy for depression, while touted to be the next big thing, doesn't seem to be readily available in Singapore, just yet. But within reach are many mobile apps which claim to help with depression.
Just search mental health on the App Store and this is what you get. There are chatbots, mindfulness apps, and the list goes on and on and on.
Researchers have found more than 1,000 mental health apps on the app stores. That's a lot. But can they really be used to treat depression?
These days, there's a chatbot for almost everything. Checking flights, ordering food, and now, even to treat depression.
I've worked on chatbots, and they can be really easy to build. You know what? Let me just show you. Done. Now the real challenge is in getting it to understand most of what you're saying. Otherwise, this could happen. The thing is, chatbots just really aren't there yet. And sometimes talking to them can be really frustrating. So how therapeutic could they be?
I'm visiting a psychologist for answers. She's no conventional mental health practitioner. Camellia Wong has a keen interest in digital wellness.
Hi. Thanks for having me. You're welcome. Nice to meet you. So my team and I, a team of psychologists, we are developing a mental health app. This app is meant to target Asians, especially dedicated to the use of individuals with mental health issues, but they don't need to have any diagnosis in order to use the app. So let me show you what it can do.
Cool.
So as you can see, the chatbot allows users to key in whatever symptoms or situations that they're experiencing at that time. The other functions of this is also that it allows them to learn certain skill sets needed for the very specific areas that they're struggling with.
Why create a chatbot functionality?
I think at this point, if we look at the community in Singapore in terms of mental health, I think a lot of people still have some resistance, a lot of self-stigma, social stigma. So with this chatbot, at least it helps them break a little bit of that barrier. So whatever current stressful situations that they're going through addressed at some form.
In your professional experience, of the many apps that exist out there, how many actually work?
I think the controversy out there is that while there are thousands of these apps, a low number of them actually do research studies, pilot studies on actual users and things like that. So the numbers are really low, like around single digits, that claim they are effective, and they have research to back up that it is effective. You can see the different questions that they ask.
Camellia's chatbot, which is called Journey, is still in its beta stage. She estimates it'll only be launched at the end of 2020. In the meantime, this came up. Wobot, an AI chatbot developed by a team of psychologists from Stanford University. And what got me really interested is that these guys have collected some data to back up their claims. Evidence that Camellia told me to look out for. Results from a trial showed a reduction in depression symptoms after 20 sessions with Wobot. The chatbot is built on cognitive behavioral therapy. It teaches you to spot negative patterns in your thinking. It then coaches you to reframe your thoughts in a more objective way. But there's really only one way to find out if Wobot is the answer for Charles's mental woes. I'm getting him to test it for a period of a week.
It's the first time I'm trying something like a chatbot app, I guess. Kind of skeptical, to be honest. And so I'm just giving it some general inputs about my present state of mind. Just asking me to give like 2 or 3 other negative thoughts that I have right now. Yeah. So now robot is telling me to rewrite this negative thought. Yeah, sending me a high five gif. It says, "Thanks for making effort to be the hardest part, Charles. Good work. I'm really delighted for you." It's kind of funny though. Talking to an app is a strange experience, to be honest. Yeah. You know, it really helped me. So I'm just going to see how it goes. You know, just give it a shot. Today didn't help me exactly in what I was expecting or wanting it to help me in, like talk about my feelings. What it did help was that it's creating this consistency, encouraging me to be accountable, but it wasn't exactly what I was hoping for. Robot today got me pretty reflective. I never expected it. And oddly enough, it also encouraged me to take a long walk, just to get my head clear. Reflecting back, I just think it's okay to miss the mark on some areas, I guess. I just shared with you my thoughts, as usual. We just went through certain behavioral patterns that I was still making or still falling prey to. On the bright side, I even decided to get serious about it. And today, I'm just going to be very proactive. Sadness and grief will never go away. I can choose to respond differently in the future. That is very humbling and liberating.
It's been a week since Charles started on Wobot. I've set up a meeting with Charles and Dr. Wang to assess whether this chatbot therapy has paid off.
So after having used Wobot for a week, do you think it's helpful for you?
I think the great thing about the app is that it helped to point out certain flaws in my thinking, or like mental models, examples like catastrophic thinking, black and white kind of thinking. This has empowered me just to be more honest about it when I share it. Right, so Dr. Wang, just going to show you the video. So it was about me sharing some of my thoughts. So this was a pretty dark moment during the week. And I don't usually share such honest thoughts.
Do you have any examples of when Wobot was not helping you or not helpful?
I was stuck in traffic one situation. I was feeling pretty angry, and so what it suggested for me to do to calm down is to find some ice, right? So I guess that's contextually maybe that is the limitations or the boundaries because you don't exactly have eyes
on a bus.
I think you are learning some CBT principles. You've talked about how the app has taught you to think through things, not to generalize, not to catastrophize. You've used some keywords. Charles, if you continue using it, you'll get better at it. And that's how CBT works.
It's like a muscle you have to flex, I guess.
So exactly. So you look for some patterns of thinking and behavior. So if you can track your mood and observe what time of the day you seem to feel more anxiety or more gloominess, then you can try and look for patterns that trigger this and then think of strategies to deal with that trigger.
Dr. Wang, if I could use a technology to help Charles track his emotions or mood across multiple data points in a single day, do you think that would be useful?
Yes, I think that would be. The main question is how accurate this tool or technology might be.
AI can now recognize more than just your facial features.
It can also understand your emotions. It's called emotion recognition, and here's how it works. Firstly, you need computer vision, which is AI that has been trained to identify your facial expressions, like this. Next, you need algorithms that can help interpret these facial expressions.
Like whether I'm happy, sad, or angry. The technology is already being used in product testing and even recruitment.
Now, what if I could use this technology to help Charles keep track of his emotions throughout the day?
I know just the guy who can help. Andrew runs Opsys, an emotion recognition company that's a spin-off from A-Star. Their algorithms have been built on data harnessed from hundreds of thousands of faces.
Hi, Andrew.
Hey, hi, Preston.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So, how accurate is this?
Why don't you try some ice cream, and then I can tell you what is your favorite and what you dislike.
Cool. Okay, why not? Can I have the white chocolate nori, Parmesan cheese, and pineapple tart, please? I'm gonna start with the white chocolate nori. This one is Parmesan cheese. And the last one is pineapple tart. Could you guess which was my favorite?
From what we capture, your most favorite is the pineapple tarts, and I guess the least favorite it's the cheese.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes, that's correct. So if I wanted to use this software for someone with depression to track their emotions on a daily basis, could I?
So from the data we capture, we'll analyze the daily activities hourly and compare his different mood states of the day at a different time of the day and what triggers his emotions.
Opsys can capture a user's emotion every second. That's thousands of data points that can be collected, then analyzed. And it's got me pretty excited because I love data. So, I'm getting Charles to try out Opsys. The software can capture and chart his daily emotional state across the week. This data can then be used to identify patterns in his mood fluctuations.
Okay, so camera is loaded up. It's pretty neat. Oh, I'm quite excited by it. I feel kind of weird having a camera in front of my face all the time. It's tracking my mood. But I'm open to the idea that it can, keep track of my mood through the day. Quite surprised how I'll flare up over stupid things like an email or some random text that just triggers me, gets me frustrated. What?
Bro, okay.
Okay, you go ask.
Are you holding or what?
No, it's the morning. Must prep anything, right?
What's end of day?
Okay. Because I must prepare the costing proposal before Friday. Sian.
I'm using emotion recognition software to help Charles pick out patterns in his daily emotional state. And I've gotten the results of our week-long experiment.
So, Dr. Wang, here are the results. This is a distribution of the emotions that Charles felt over this time period. So these red points over here represent the emotions that he felt the most frequently throughout this measurement period. And the emotions are misery, depression, and frustration.
The results also suggest that Charles felt these emotions at least 70% of the recorded time. But that's not all. He was especially negative in the mornings.
In the mornings, I've always been dealing with reactive work, or I think the most difficult task of the day. And so I think that's when my frustrations typically shine out.
So now that we know that Charles experiences mostly negative emotions in the mornings, what would you recommend that he do?
So some small things that a person can do to get out of this is to take action. It can be simple things like going for a walk. If you can make it something that whenever you're feeling anxious or moody, you do this thing and you know that this is the thing that rescues you. So during those low energy moments, what's the fire drill? What's the thing that you gotta do to overcome that? Make it a drill.
Identifying these patterns can help Charles be more aware of what triggers his moods, so he can find ways to manage these emotions before they escalate.
This is a timeline of Charles's typical day. He spends most of his time at work, so going for a walk as and when he feels negative can be pretty disruptive, especially if he has meetings and deadlines to meet. He needs something that's portable, something he can use anytime, anywhere.
Neuro creates digital solutions for brain health. They've developed Galini, an app that provides digital relaxation therapy. Could this be Charles's walk in the park?
Let me give you the headset. Comfortable?
Yep.
So if you just try and listen.
Which one did you pick?
Oh, I chose the calming waves.
You can kickstart the program that you've chosen.
Okay.
I drift off within seconds.
So how was it?
Quite a surreal experience, to be honest. Something strange, the music wasn't exactly loud, but it had this tranquility, I guess, and it just created this environment where you were concentrating on breathing.
I felt very calm, and just like Charles, I wasn't expecting it, because it was kind of a short period of time, but I felt like I was more relaxed than that for a longer period of time. It's strange, yeah.
What we injected in this music is actually binaural beats. Binaural beats are actually low frequencies that is being played. It's in a way massaging your brain to actually get into a relaxed state. And let's see the results. This is your relaxation from start to finish.
The headband measures the user's brain activity before and after each session to calculate a relaxation score. I was 6% more relaxed at the end of the session. Charles, on the other hand, was a minus 2%.
We saw a slight decrease in your relaxation, but this requires practice. Our brain is like a muscle. If you get too stressed, too anxious and so on, you keep it there for too long, everybody knows it's not good for you. But by doing this, you're practicing, you know what you need to do. You will learn to relax yourself and get out of that mode. So stop from any detrimental mental health issues to come.
So Galini tracks your relaxation score or performance over time. What can you do with that information?
It's to motivate you so that the user actually sees it and they can see that they're getting better.
How about let's give this a shot for a week and see how it goes for you?
Yeah, sure. Let's give it a shot.
Charles tried Galini when he was stressed.
It's just so frustrated at this stupid piece of paperwork.
While working overtime.
There are numerous changes and so many variables that I have to account for, and time is running out.
And even before he went to bed.
I'm starting to realize this. Listening exercises are particularly useful before sleep. In some strange way, it helps to calm the mind.
It's been a week since, so I'm checking in on Charles's progress.
So let's have a look at the relaxation scores over the past week.
The first time Charles used Galini, his state of relaxation throughout the session averaged 48%. But over the past week, that number has gone up. There's even a session where he hit 65%.
So looking at the relaxation scores here, it appears that some of the sessions have actually helped you. Do you feel that way?
Yeah, definitely. It has helped to, I guess, be more aware, to tame my reactivity. So that really helps to regulate my physical reactivity and my emotions. But I still do feel that sense of tiredness from the lack of good night's sleep from the previous day. And also because, I don't know, my mind is always overthinking.
Right.
And so there's always like a hamster on the wheel.
Charles is hardly the only insomniac in the city. Singaporeans are among the world's worst sleepers. In fact, almost a third of us are estimated to suffer from insomnia at some point in our lives. And that's worrying, because insomnia isn't just a symptom of depression. It could also be the cause of it. Research suggests that individuals suffering from insomnia are 10 times more likely to develop depression compared with those who sleep well. That's why I want to get to the bottom of Charles's sleepless nights, so I can find the right technology to help him. I've arranged for him to meet one of Singapore's leading sleep experts.
Mr. Charles?
Dr. Kenny Pang has been treating sleep disorders for nearly 2 decades.
How are you, Charles?
Tired, I guess. Pretty tired.
How can I help you?
I think 9 to 12 months ago.
Okay.
Starting to feel really exhausted. At about like 1:30 in the morning, I'll still be tossing in bed until like maybe like 4+. Then I'm like, okay, I'm starting to really feel that grogginess, and then I'll fall asleep. And then because I set up an alarm, it wakes me about 6:30 or 6:45, and I have to go to work.
I see.
Yeah.
So Charles, I'm going to first take a look within your nasal cavity itself and your mouth. Open your mouth for me. Good, perfect. Okay, good. You do have an underbite and you do have a crossbite as well. We need to do a sleep test for you in order to better determine your sleep quality. Okay?
Yes, Doc. Okay, the tracker has initialized and it's saying good night. So it's starting to record me, at least starting to record me going to sleep.
Hi,
Dr.
Charles.
Pang.
How are you? Good to see you again. Come, take a seat. Can I show you the results?
Sure.
Your sleep is fragmented and interrupted almost 16 times per hour. And this is related to your airway being narrow and what we call upper airway resistance. But because your airway collapses, you tend to, so you go from deep sleep to light sleep to light sleep very often throughout the night. You're not getting restful sleep. And this relates to a lot of psychological issues as well, because daytime you're tired and you're irritable, sometimes you're moody, and therefore this can lead to emotional disturbances like depression and all. So in general, we advise regular sleep patterns as well, as in 11 p.m. every night to 7 a.m. You should not have any light emitting devices in front of your face 2 hours before you sleep. So it might be a good idea to prepare your room before you get in, so that at least the room is cool when you get to bed. Because sometimes when you get to bed and if you cannot fall asleep, if you're a very anxious type of person, all the more you won't fall asleep because you worry about not falling asleep, and definitely you won't fall asleep. And your room needs to be as dark as possible. Some patients find that relaxing music also helps. So with all these sleeping habits, your sleep quality, together with initiating sleep, will probably get better. Okay?
Right.
In the previous episode, I've seen how something as simple as smart lights can make a huge difference.
And it's got me thinking, can I use smart home technology to create the ideal environment for Charles to sleep better?
Tech integrator Habitat and smart curtain suppliers Somfy and MC2 are rigging up a smart home for us. We're programming lights, music, and even a bit of myself into the setup.
We'll soon find out what they are.
All this to help Charles fall asleep faster and sleep better.
Hello, Preston.
Oh, hi, Dr. Pang.
And I'm letting Dr. Pang in on my ambitious experiment.
So at 8 p.m., imagine Charles has just come home from work. So we want to kind of reduce his exposure to white light. And so at 9 p.m., this is what happens.
Wow.
So all the lights in the living room turn from bright white to a warm yellow-orange.
I see.
So at 10:10, the lights go off, and then...
Wow. Soothing music comes on.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
And apart from that, the lights in the reading corner go on. Yeah, so this is kind of to encourage Charles to move towards there and drop his devices and stop working.
As Charles unplugs from his devices, the aircon in the bedroom starts. Then, at 10:40, the lights in the reading corner go off. The lamp in the bedroom turns on. Then, the rhythm of crashing waves fill the air.
As you can hear, the soothing sound of waves will keep Charles calm and relaxed. And at 10:50 p.m., the lights will go off, and then the curtains will draw.
Right, at the same time.
Yes, exactly.
At 6:30 a.m., a sunrise simulator wakes him up gradually. Then, at 7, this happens.
So, Dr. Pang, now that you've seen my setup, do you think it'll work for Charles?
Yes, I think it will encourage him to get better sleep hygiene. It encourages regular sleep patterns. Preparing the room for him also might help. There are some sleep apps that can be downloaded on the smartphone, and this actually helps the patient himself monitor his sleeping habits, his sleep cycles. That gives him an idea of whether he's doing things right.
That's a great idea.
With the thumbs up from Dr. Pang, I wasted no time in getting Charles to spend 3 nights here.
Hi, Charles. During your stay here, some events will be triggered from time to time. You'll soon find out what they are. In the meantime, make yourself comfortable.
Yeah, I thought it was weird to hear Preston's voice. Actually, I was expecting to see him or see him greet me at the door, but that doesn't seem to be the case. So I guess he's here somewhere. What in the world? Wow.
It's time to put away your devices. Grab a book and unwind at the reading corner.
I'm assuming I'm not supposed to take my phone. Oh my gosh. Where's the sound coming from here? Yeah, it does nudge you in that sense to time to get away from things, time to relax. Yeah. So it's interventionist, yeah, it's good. I am sleepy. Whoa.
It's time to get ready for bed.
My sleep was not bad last night. Yeah, the light this morning was unexpected. Straight out from a movie, that's for sure. But it's like orange light. Yeah. There's coffee for some reason as well.
Goodbye, rain clouds. Hello, sun. You've taken cover from everyone, and there'll be no need to hide. Push the dark times aside.
I just felt a bit more energized to take on today's challenges. Yeah, so I was just less tired, you know. I can't see, yeah, there are a couple of lights in the background as well, just to set this calming serenity. I think it's a great contrast to the office environment. It's a bit hectic and whatnot. The routine of reading before I sleep is clearing my mind. The dim lights do help. This morning I feel somewhat more refreshed. Even though I'm just waking up at the same time, you know, I'm still feeling much better, more alert. I think I attribute this ability to transition into the morning, feeling more calmer to, you know, this little smart ambient light meet alarm in the background. And that really sets the mood. And you know, when you wake up from your sleepy state, you don't feel jolted into turning things off or being so reactive.
Every morning as I open my eyes, jump out my bed and pull up the blinds, I always get this feeling, then I take a deep breath and say,
Charles thinks he slept better, but as a computer scientist, the proof is in the data. So I've brought Dr. Pang with me to find out if my experiment has paid off.
How are you?
So, you've been here for 3 nights already. How are you feeling?
Well, first off, I feel much more refreshed and I actually fall into deep sleep much faster than I initially expected.
Wow.
I can wake up, just relax, you know, calm your thoughts.
Yes.
You had good sleep. You can solve today's problems one step at a time. Yeah.
Right.
So you feel more in control.
Yeah, I think it's the word. I guess you're more in control of the day at hand.
Dr. Pang, I took your suggestion and gave Charles this sleep monitoring app.
So, Charles, you mentioned that you slept better.
Yes.
So let's take a look at the results.
Right. Okay.
The app tracks a user's sleep cycle to arrive at a sleep quality score. Charles averaged 30% at home. But here, his score hit as high as 86%.
You basically look at the duration of sleep, deep sleep, the time, and it shows that you actually slept deeper for longer duration here in this well-prepared room for you.
So would you consider this a success?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, definitely a success. Definitely empowered me. At least I know that there's options, and I think I'm more informed as a person on how to be a more disciplined sleep.
Congratulations, Charles. You may not need to see me anymore.
My sleep experiment worked. Now, it's just about getting Charles to include these new habits into his daily bedtime routine.
I got a surprise for him. I've brought some of the things that worked well in the sleep experiment, and I hope that he'll continue to use it.
There's a sunrise simulator to wake him up in the mornings, and music through a smart speaker to lull him to bed at night.
We're done. Charles!
Hey.
Hey, so I've got a surprise for you.
Wow, thanks so much.
So how's the whole process been for you?
It's a challenge for me, doing something very different, just being vulnerable and just, at the end of the day, you're just trying, the most important thing is to have that personal agency to make a change. At least there's an outlet, and I think that's the first step. Yeah.
Technology probably cannot replace the human touch, but it can be used to understand, detect, or even relieve some symptoms of depression. And it definitely has great potential in making help for mental disorders more accessible and affordable.